Hey guys, this is Wawan your kawan and welcome back to another episode of Wawan TV. Okay, today I want to share with you guys my experience of babysitting for 3 months. I decided to take care of these two kids. One of them was 2.5 years old at the time and the other one was 1.5 years old. And a lot of people were just like saying stuff like, can you actually handle two kids, two boys nonetheless, For 3 months from like early in the day till like, late where the parents would come back and stuff. And I gotta admit, I was a little nervous before doing it, but I knew that it was something that I had to do. It was something that I was very adamant in doing, and I'm here to tell you guys why I decided to do it. Okay, so the first reason why I decided to babysit for 3 months in, full time is mainly because I love kids. I would not even consider taking this job up unless that, I'm comfortable with kids, and I've always been comfortable with kids. I babysitted my nephews, my cousins, and even, growing up, I took care of my little sister when she was like tiny and bald, and she continued to be like a bald kid, like till like she was 2 or 3. So for me, it was a very obvious choice. When this opportunity came my way, I decided that why not? I'm gonna give this a try and see whether can I survive this intense period of taking care of two kids. Okay, so the second reason why I decided to babysit these kids for 3 months straight is mainly because that I was going to do it abroad. It was going to be in Switzerland, Basel. Okay, and it was always my goal for me to kind of like work overseas doing kind of this like blue-collared work. I always thought I was either gonna work in restaurants or just becoming like a janitor in like some Ivy League university or anything of that sort, right? Since that never really happened, when somebody called me up and said that, hey, so-and-so's looking for a babysitter and they need you to be in Basel for 3 months, like, do you know anybody who'd be interested to do it? I'm interested to do it. Sign me up for the gig, So, it's just a way for me to kind of like take something off my bucket list, and which is exactly just that, during the babysitting period, of course, there's a lot that goes into it. You're not just like watching kids during that time. You're actually doing all sorts of other things like prepping them up, cleaning up after their mess, making sure that you feed them. It was interesting to say the least. Okay, so the third reason why I decided to, babysit for 3 months is because the way I see it, it was a way for me to build my character. A lot of us, we tend to have this CV kind of, we're thinking that we're gonna add this up to our list. Graduated from such and such university, I volunteered with this and that organization and all this nice and, fluffy things to make our lives look good. And again, there's a lot of merits to that because I myself did a lot of those things back when I was in university as well. But, I think building character goes beyond what you can say or put on paper, right? It has to come with actual practical life challenges. And what's a better way to know what you're made of rather than, spending the hours of 7 a.m. till 5 p.m. with two kids who are just constantly demanding your attention and you finding creative ways to go around that. Okay, the fourth reason I suppose why I decided to babysit or do this gig for 3 months is that, it was to gain new perspective. I've never really been to Switzerland at that point, or nor have I spent, that amount of time with kids before, I have vague ideas of what it was like for, my sister, my brother to have kids of their own, but it was something else when you spend all that time taking care of like children and kids. So I think it also gave me a whole new perspective of really growing to appreciate their role, or like, the role of sitters or like cousins and like, relatives who take their time, even grandmas and granddads who look out after their grandkids. It's not easy work. It's not work that you do thinking that, oh, I've retired and let me just kind of like relax now, because like, nope, it is not, like a relaxing work at all. All right, and the last bit of why I decided to, do this, guys, was really because that I wanted it to be a part of my education. I feel that, I grew up listening to a lot of like really nice like religious sermons, and people always talk about things like what it means to be a good man. A good man means A, B, C, and D. A good man is like, if you're gonna follow in the footsteps of Prophet Muhammad SAW, you would learn how to do housework, you learn how to like be active with your kids, and a lot of like these things that are usually portrayed or like people talk about in sermons, but I don't ever really got the chance to really like practice it lah. Or even when I did have the chance to like practice all these things, it's always in small dosage. It's never like, okay, this is like a crash course like on how to cook. This is a crash course on like life skills. If you have like a 2-year-old who's like crying and like like, you know, a 1-year-old who just like poop on the floor, and you know, you're just like thinking like, okay, what the heck do I do in a situation like that? And you're trying to get them out to go to the park next, and you know, that's stuff that you can't learn from a book lah, you know. And I feel like, you know, whatever you can learn from a book, there's also just as much you can learn from actual life experiences, and you really have to learn to kind of like, you know, balance out between the two forms of education, you know, help us all to become more of a whole person lah. And this is an approach that I do my best to consciously, you know, practice, and I hope that it's something that I can pass on to the close ones around me, and maybe when I have kids of my own, it's something that, you know, I can also encourage in them and instill in them from a very young age. Okay guys, those were my reasons, or like, you know, the main 5 reasons at least that I wanted to share with you guys on why I decided to go on this babysitting adventure, or you know, as a Manny. I just want to give like a big shout out to, you know, of course the family that accepted me in, which was Wani and Peter, you know, and the kids of course right now, Elias, Noah, and later on their added addition, baby Keon. And of course a big shout out to like my own nephews, Aiman, Ame, you know, Ryan, Raimi, who of course, you know, my time with them prepared me for the whole big 3 months of me taking care of like Elias and Noah, and like, you know, I appreciate them so much. And of course my brothers and my sisters who have taught me a lot in my life, and you know, big shout out to babysitters, parents, grandparents, teachers, anybody who has ever had to deal with like kids and they do not have the choice to leave after a period of time. Hats off guys, hats off. You guys are like true heroes. Okay guys, if you like this video, you know, please share, like and subscribe, and like, you know, if you have any thoughts on like future videos and stuff, please, you know, leave a comment down below or write to me personally. I will be more than happy to engage with you guys. And until the next video guys, I'll see you guys then. Bye. So this is week 2 on my Switzerland/Basel trip as like a babysitter.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.